Hello again YouTube, this is Skull Circle TCG, and today I have another video to show off to you guys of a real-life Pokemon trading card game battle. Hello Togepi. So, actually I recorded 4 particular videos on this day, and none of them involved me. What happened is my local Pokemon League sponsors an unsanctioned tournament. Basically, it didn't count for play points or championship points, but people were more than welcome to come and eligible to win prizes and stuff like that. So I decided to take advantage of the opportunity to... Oh man, that's a horrible starting hand. 5 supporters. I bet he's glad he didn't have Pokemon there. I took the opportunity to bring my camera and record a whole bunch of fun matches for you guys. So hopefully these turned out great. I have not actually seen the recordings yet. I was not there when 2 of them took place, so I don't know who won. And for most of these, I don't even know what decks were run. So what we have on the left is a Miltank Empoleon deck, similar to the one that I ran this particular day. In fact, I won 4th with my deck. I will say that there was a lot of luck involved. I did not expect to get that high. I just went for fun. But the guy on the left is Jordan. Well, his full name will be in the description. I'm not comfortable with saying it in person, but not that matters if it's in the description, right? But he is a really experienced player. He's been playing for years. He went to Worlds last year in 2013. He's just really, really good. He's running a Miltank Empoleon deck. And on the right is... Shoot, I didn't actually... I think that's his name. I think that's Josiah. I'm going to have to check the listing to make sure, but I'm just going to assume it's Josiah for now. I saw that he started with a Landorus, so I'm going to assume that he's running a straight-up Landorus deck. The format for this particular tournament was... it was the current format, in that it was Next Destinies through Flash Fire. Furious Fist cards were not allowed in the tournament, so a lot of people who came with Seismitoad decks were a bit disappointed. They had to rush to make brand new decks, stuff like that. Anyway, it looks like we're beginning. Jordan has a really strong opening hand, or just opening period. He has a Miltank, he has 2 Piplups and a Duskull. That's perfect. So right away he attaches Water Energy and a Muscle Band to one of his bench Piplups. There's no reason to attack Miltank yet, especially since he sees he's up against Landorus. Landorus is weak to water, so if he can get the Empoleon powered up, there only need to be 9 Pokemon in play, and he can one-shot the Landorus, and that's without the Muscle Band. With the Muscle Band, oh man, I'd have to think. Muscle Band adds 20 before weakness, so that'll add 40 total. So there only need to be 7 Pokemon in play total for Empoleon to knock out Landorus, which means he just needs a full bench and that's it. Josiah doesn't need anything and he can still one-shot that Landorus with an Empoleon. Since he sees he's up against Landorus, and plus, besides that, Miltank is weak to fighting, which is what Landorus is, so he's probably going to want to get that out of there. He does have the switch for next turn. He benches another Miltank and passes. Josiah benched a Trubbish there. We can see he's running Garbodor. That is a Tool Drop Trubbish, but who plays Tool Drop these days? Startling Megaphone basically has annihilated Tool Drop decks all around. Oh, we see a cute little Zorua there. And anyway, he's Ultra Balling here. Got a Tornadus EX. Blow Through does 30 plus another 30 if there's a stadium in play. And then Power Blast does 90. And then I believe you can discard an energy, and if you do, it does another 40? 80 and 40, that might be it. Maybe I'm thinking of Regigigas. Anyway, but he does put the Tornadus down and plays Professor Juniper. Right now, I believe he is one-shotting that Miltank, which is correct. The Miltank is weak to fighting. Muscle Band does 50, so 50 times 2. Is knockout, and then 30 to the Piplup with damage on, or with an energy and Muscle Band. Doesn't matter if he can get if Jordan can get a rare candy and Empoleon in play right now, he one-shots this Landorus, and all of a sudden Josiah's in an incredibly bad spot. Even though he took a prize on his very first turn, which is extremely rare to see these days in Pokemon, this game is far from over. I mean, plus it just started, but anyway, Jordan does have a few options, but he does not have the Empoleon. He could Skyla here, he could play down the Jirachi EX and use Stellar Guidance to get a different supporter. But no, he's just going to play in, and that was probably the best option to do. That copy of In is Black and White Promo 100. You get it by going to Pokemon League. Well, you got it by going to Pokemon League. It was 1 month, sometime this past season. I'd be surprised if they're still available at most leagues right now. But he runs that print of In just to be absolutely certain that it's still in format. And let's see what he got off of his In to 6. And Josiah only got 5, including 2 Trubbishes. Wow, that's very unfortunate. Wait, no, one of them is Garbodor. My mistake. So, Jordan didn't get anything that he wanted. He's just going to evolve one, his last benched Piplup into Primplup, then bench another Piplup. And he's going to want to save that bench space for something else for later. And not much else he can do. He could use Piplup's attack. I think it's just quick attack for 10. Flip a coin, it does 20 more. That, you know, if he flips heads, that's an immediate 60 to Landorus. He's going to Ultra Ball here first, but if he flips tails, that's 20. You know, every bit of damage counts sometimes, but still, that's just not as strong as getting an Empoleon out and just knocking that Landorus out for 1 attack command. Plus, he could use Diving Draw at that point too, which would get him more cards into his hand. There is no Tropical Beach in play right now. Quick look through his deck. He got one. Wonder how he got it. Did he just Skyla for it, maybe? No, he just played it in, so he must have had it in hand. But anyway, so he does have the Tropical Beach out there now. He could easily use Tropical Beach, and he did. That must have been the last card in his hand. And, oh, that's perfect. Tropical Beach got him exactly what he wanted. He's going to have to sacrifice this Piplup without using any energy, but still. Josiah got an Aspertia City Gym out. Now his Tornadus has 190 HP instead of 170. Or maybe it's 200 instead of 180. That sounds more correct. I think it's 200 instead of 180. This Aspertia City Gym adds 20 to each colorless Pokemon. So unfortunately that Miltank is no longer getting one-shotted by a Landorus, but it also helps his Tornadus out. He put a DCE on it, Muscle Band, has a Garbodor out, now he just needs a tool, and all of a sudden, all of Jordan's deck is shut down. You know, Diving Draw is no longer an option. Dusknoir, if it ever comes into play, Sinister Hand will not work. Propagation from Execute won't work. It shuts down decks so quickly, Empoleon decks so quickly. He decided to switch one of the cards that he was discarding with Ultra Ball. Since this was an unsanctioned tournament, it was very friendly. You know, a lot of people were making things like that. Like, well, I thought I might discard one thing with Ultra Ball, and maybe I'll discard a different one instead. And that's just allowed because everyone's nice to each other and stuff. If it was a tournament where, you know, stuff was on the line, like championship points or huge awards or something like that, then maybe it'd be a different story. So he's going to Bicycle there for 4, up to 4, and he got the tool. Now Garbatoxin is in effect. And I don't see him doing anything else here. He's probably just going to Hammerhead for the knockout and put 30. He's going to put the 30 onto one of the Piplups. And that's probably the good thing to do. Jordan's going to promote his Piplup without any damage on it, and wow, startling Megaphone, getting rid of all of those tools that Josiah just attached. Now Jordan Ultra Balls away the Execute. Now that Execute's propagation ability is back, that's the best thing to do. Get Execute in the discard pile as soon as possible. It is useless in your deck, it is useless in your hand, it needs to be in the discard pile as soon as possible. If you can ever get it in there, take advantage of the opportunity. And he discards the In as well. So he ended up getting the Empoleon, and he's shuffling his deck substantially right now, Jordan is. So that tells me he must have the rare candy in hand. Or he's trying to shuffle it. Nah, there's the rare candy. And Super Rod, that's perfect. Jirachi, Water Energy, and Piplup. Perfect. The Jirachi is now back in his deck. It can get him a supporter. Plus, he got the energy and Piplup. I don't know how many energy he runs. People constantly ask me for deck lists for all these decks. I don't know them. This is my first time looking at these decks. For example, I didn't know what kind of deck Josiah was running at all, and I only knew what Jordan was running because he He and I were running very similar decks. Plus, he was sitting right beside me at this point. That's the only reason I know. But I don't know the exact count of energies or Pokemon lines and stuff like that. I just know the rough kind of deck that it is. So, anyway. Now, Jordan gets... I don't know. He got 6, and Josiah still has 4. Let's see. And now we're going to see a diving draw for 2. We got a Miltank and a Dusknoir. If he had a rare candy, he could get the Sinister Hand into play right now. But it's kind of useless. But he doesn't have a rare candy anyway, so it doesn't matter. So right now they're just counting up to see how much attack command does. There's the energy, and that will be an attack command for knockout if he decides to attack right here. There's a rare candy. Now he evolves into Dusknoir. And there we go. We see a knockout. And those are the first 2 prizes on Jordan's end. So Josiah promotes his Tornadus. Like I said, blow through does 30. Actually, I have my binder right here beside me with the Tornadus in it. But anyway, Josiah plays his N. And Tornadus, blow through does 30. And if there's a stadium in play, does 30 more for 2 colorless. So right now the Tornadus is doing 60 damage to that Empoleon. Not much. Power Blast, however, does 100 for 3 colorless energy. So if there's 1 more in play, then all of a sudden he's doing 100 damage to that Empoleon. However, you have to flip a coin, and if tails, you have to discard an energy attached to Tornadus. That's the downside. So what I was listing earlier was the Regigigas EX, the colorless EX from the set before Tornadus was printed. There's a Muscle Band. Now all of a sudden blow through is doing 80. And he's just going to blow through for 80. It's not a knockout, but I don't think he was really expecting to get a knockout there. Let's see. Jordan has stuff in his hand. I don't know. If I were him, I might Colress here because you'd get 7 brand new cards. And the rest of his hand is not very good. He does have Tropical Beach. He should play that just to get the Tornadus back down to 180 HP instead of 200. But no, he's just going to play Colress. Probably because he also likes having his Miltank at 120, which is just beyond knockout range from Landorus. I can see that. Or maybe he just felt, well, maybe, you know, since I don't want a Tropical Beach, and I certainly don't want Josiah Tropical Beaching, I'll just not play it right now. There's so many reasons why you do and don't play cards. So actually there, he Colressed. He was supposed to get 7. But maybe he didn't, I just miscounted. But he Propagation and Diving Drawed there, and he's going to do it again after getting another Empoleon in play. And let's see. Attack command right now does 80. Oh, and he plays Lysander. No, he doesn't. He was about to, and then realized that he already played a supporter for his turn. So he's going to bench another Miltank just to fill up the bench and make attack command do a bit more. And I believe that's attack command for 80. No, 90. That's attack command for 90, which would... Oh, I'm sorry, 100. Sorry. And believe it or not, that only knocks the Tornadus down to half its normal damage. It has 200 HP thanks to that Aspertia City gym. And now Josiah, he's feeling a little bit of pressure. Bufalon is useless because it's normally, you know, Goldbreaker is its attack, does 60, and then 60 if it's up against an EX. But it takes 3 energy. That's a lot to power it up, especially if you're going up against a deck completely without EXs like Jordan. He plays 1 EX, Jirachi EX, and it'll never see it play. It'll never be the attacker, and right now, there's no way that he can even get it out there if he wanted to. So, Bufalon is useless for Josiah. Landorus is his best bet here, honestly. But Tornadus is still powered up, and it's a really big wall right now. He's going to Skyla here. He should probably just get a tool to get that Garbodor, Garbotoxin from Garbodor back into play. Just so that he can shut down the abilities on Jordan's side, which will hinder him a little bit. But there are so many options he can do. He could get a switch here, because Tornadus does need... It has 1 retreat cost. So if he wants to retreat it manually, he's going to discard that double colorless energy, which is 1 more energy than necessary. And he doesn't want to attach just to retreat. He could get a switch. He could get, well, he ended up getting the bike, but he could have gotten the tool. But I guess he just decided, you know what, I need more cards in my hand. I'm going to get the bicycle, play my hand down to as little as possible, then play the bicycle, and see if I get some good stuff off of that. He benches a Mewtwo EX, which could spell trouble. No, it's not. It's not going to spell trouble, because all of Jordan's Pokemon only need 1 energy to attack. So if Mewtwo EX has the bare minimum 2 energy on it for X-Ball, then you're only looking at 60 damage, which is not enough to knock out anything in 1 hit on Jordan's side. And let's see, so he benched a Kangaskhan EX there. That is undoubtedly his Pyroar counter, because, of course, basics cannot touch Pyroar. So, and there he's going to attach a Fighting Energy to Mewtwo EX, just so then next turn, if he wants to, he can attach another energy and get it powered up for an X-Ball. And he just uses Blow Through for the final damage for a knockout. And I believe he got an energy switch off of his prizes. Now Jordan is in a bit of a predicament. Does he promote a Miltank? Does he promote an Empoleon? Empoleon does more damage at this point, but then it'll just get hit really, really hard by Mewtwo or by Landorus. But then again, Miltank, well, thanks to that Aspersion City Gem, it's not knocked out in 1 hit by Landorus, but, you know, I don't see a energy in Jordan's hand. Does he promote the Miltank in hopes he draws an energy? Or does he promote the Empoleon, which already has an energy on it? Another problem is the Empoleon is the only one with Diving Draw right here. Josiah was unable to get a tool onto Garbodor last turn, so Garbotoxin is not in effect, which means Jordan has all of his abilities available to him. If he wants, he could just move that 100 damage to another EX. Oh, he's going to Lysander up the Landorus. Right now is getting one-shotted by this Empoleon, regardless, if he moved the energy up with Sinister Hand, or not, energy, I keep saying energy, damage. The damage on Tornadus with Sinister Hand or not. It's going to Propagation and Diving Draw. He drew a Piplup and a Dowsing Machine off of those the 2 cards there. He could use the Dowsing Machine. He's looking through his discard pile right now and seeing if there's anything he really wants. He could definitely get the Tropical Beach if he wants, but there's really no point. He's just going to do nothing but attack from this point on, and he doesn't want Josiah to Tropical Beach. If he has nothing to do, he wants to make sure Josiah literally has nothing to do. Not nothing to do and then Tropical Beach at the end of his turn. That's the thing with stadiums. They work for both players. That's why it's so hard sometimes to decide which stadium you want to run in your deck, if any. Anyway, he benches the Piplup there, and now Diving Draw is doing 120, and that's before weakness, so it's doing 240, and this is the only Landorus in play right now. If he knocks out this Landorus EX, he's down to just 2 prizes. And all the knockouts he's taken have been as a result of 1 energy. This is why Empoleon decks are always so powerful, because for 1 energy, you're able to do almost an unlimited number of damage. Let's see, we are going to see the Dowsing Machine. He's going to discard a Juniper and a Rare Candy. 2 cards he probably would have preferred not to discard, especially the Rare Candy. You're only limited to 4 of those in a whole game. Using Dowsing Machine, 5. And he just Dowsing Machine away a Rare Candy, so his access to Rare Candy is even smaller now. But he's just going to he's going to attack command for the knockout, take 2 prizes, and now it's Josiah's turn to figure out what to do. He could promote Tornadus, he could promote Mewtwo and hope for an energy, but then Mewtwo's still only doing 60. Tornadus is doing more at this point. It's doing 80. So he's just going to promote the Tornadus. And he was probably really hoping for a tool there, but he didn't get it. Good thing he didn't promote Mewtwo, though, because he didn't pull in energy. He's going to Max Potion, actually. Has to discard the double colorless energy, but that damage is off. Now it can't be moved around with Sinister Hand, and more importantly, Empoleon cannot take the final attack for knockout. And it's a good thing Jordan didn't use a Tropical Beach there, because right there, if it had been in play, Josiah could have used it, but as it is, he just had to pass. So Jordan has a Megaphone in his hand. No, it's a Skyla, okay. I thought it was Megaphone. Megaphone is in his hand, but he decided to use Skyla instead. He's going to use Skyla to get something. If he has an Empoleon in his hand, he could use Skyla to get the rare candy, but, you know, there's no reason to. He already has one Empoleon in play. It doesn't look like he really is in danger of losing this Empoleon. He's just going to grab the switch. He's going to use it. If I were him, I'd probably switch into Miltank, because Miltank right now is doing 100 and... No, just 100. Is doing 100 with its Powerful Friends attack. Does 10 damage plus 70 if there's a stage 2 on your side. And then the Muscle Band adds another 20, so 100. And we see Diving Draw there. And he's just going to Powerful Friends for a mighty 100. Which again knocks that Tornadus down to half its HP. 200 with the Aspertia City Gym. Now it's down to 100. Let's see. Josiah drew a switch. Absolutely useless to him. His draws right now are just really terrible. But he's going to play the switch anyway. Put out his Kangaskhan EX. And he's going to energy switch the fighting energy onto Kangaskhan. Oh, and uses Kangaskhan's attack. I didn't see what it was called, but he ended up, it's called Big Draw. But regardless, Sinister Hand moves the damage up to Kangaskhan, and Empoleon just knocks it out with Attack Command. Hello again, Togepi. So Jordan won the game. Just Sinister Hand the damage up, then used Attack Command, and got his final 2 prizes. So I hope you all enjoyed this game between a Miltank and Empoleon deck, and a Landorus deck, kind of. I would call it probably Big Basics. Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to call it in the video, Big Basics. So I hope you enjoyed this match, and stay tuned because we got some more awesome matches coming up from this tournament.